back, Cult Lords fans, to another episode recap for The Last of Us. And this was episode 5, Dave, called Endure and Survive.
Should have been called the Rhino, though, because he finally made an appearance.
No, that's true. That is true. So we're glad that you're back with us. If you're new, please go down, hit subscribe, hit like, and then in the comments, tell us what you think of this episode, our observations of this episode. Were you excited by this one? Were you not excited by this one? Which is kind of hard to believe.
I was going to say, you must be like on a IV drip if you're not excited by this one.
Yeah, I might need to get you the blue pill.
You need to hit that bag a little bit more to get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, Dane, before we start, we always like to have a drink. What are we drinking today?
Well, we're bringing this out in honor of Mr. Offerman, who made an appearance in episode 3. But they mentioned him, so we get to bring it out. Yep. It's like one of those games every time they mention Bill. This is a special Langevellen, but that Mr. Offerman himself suggested to everybody. And it's awesome. Yep. It's a great nice char beverage. It's got a really good taste to it, and definitely apropos for this particular episode. So take it away.
So now that we got our drink, take a little sip.
Smokiness.
Why don't we tell them about the spoilers, Dane?
No, that's right. We are going into heavy spoilers. Red alert!
Red alert! Red alert! DJ Red alert! All right.
I don't know what's that from.
DJ Red Alert. There's a rap. I know.
Is there a rap that
there
does
is a DJ Red Alert, and I don't know what group he's in, but
we're going into heavy spoilers. So if you have not seen episode 5, take a back seat to this episode and come back when you've watched it. Because, or else maybe just stick around because we're trying to be entertaining.
Right. So Dane, after 2 pretty quiet episodes.
Yes.
No zombies. We finally got our wish. We get to see some zombies.
And it was like drinking on the hose. Like,
yes. Oh! So let's talk about the setup to where this happened. So as you remember, we ended last week with guns in the faces of Joel and Ellie, with Henry and Sam, right?
Yes. Gotta put your mask on.
There you go. Well, your painted on mask.
Painted on mask.
Because you're a superhero.
That's right. Although my one comment on there is, I hope that wasn't oil-based paint. He just like splashes it right on the kid's face. I guess he's like, who cares? He'll probably die in a couple minutes.
Yeah. But so now they're sitting around. I guess they kind of trust each other. They break bread. They have some meal. And, I can't remember what they were eating, but I think this is where Ellie said something like...
It was the stuff from Bill, right?
Yeah,
it was like, it looked like almost like really like hard pan, I think is what they call it. It's like super concentrated, like, everything put together. Because it was like kind of like almost like
so it looked like a jerky or something.
Yeah.
But so they're eating and they're getting to know each other. So they kind of make a deal that in the morning they would get up, look out the window, plot their course to the bridge, which takes them over to Kansas.
Right.
And get the heck out of Kansas City.
Out of Dodge.
Yep.
Going through the bank building. Via the tunnels.
That's right. Through the tunnels. And,
and they set that up that you were expecting to see something in those tunnels.
Right.
And then nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, it's one of those rare times where somebody says something and then it never happens. Like, because he's like, they cleared all the tunnels. Well, how long ago was that? 3 years ago or whatever, and he's like, okay.
Well, actually, you know what? And we should actually, I said that this opened up with Josh and Ellie and everybody. It actually opened up with a scene from, I don't know how long ago, but it's after everybody revolted against Fedra.
Fedra,
and took over, the DZ. So they're shooting fireworks in the air. They're shooting, like, celebrating. And you would think, you could never do this in The Walking Dead world.
No. They're hanging people while they're beating the crap out of them, shooting them in the head. I mean, because that guy would immediately get up and go after you. These guys are like... So that is... Yeah, that's a great point, because that's That's a big difference between Walking Dead and this one, and that. But if there's no way like a mushroom got in there, you're guaranteed that no one's going to wake up.
Right. I mean, well, so you have that as a point.
Yeah.
But number two, in every other zombie, I mean, I think of like the movie Land of the Dead. You know, when there's fireworks going off, Land of the Dead, it just brought all the walkers to the city.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, you know, in Walking Dead, you hear boom, 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 and all this is going on. Every walker from every would come in.
They show them go,
yeah.
And then they start going that way.
Yeah, right?
Right.
So, but, you know, nothing happened here.
No.
They got to celebrate.
So that is kind of an interesting, like, release of energy in the sense that people can feel relatively secure.
Right.
Although, obviously, there's something brewing underground, which...
Yes.
They didn't show, but of course it's going to be what they see later coming up through the city, I assume. So
these dead have been brewing.
Yes,
brewing
distilling.
like coffee. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but anyways, so back to Josh and Ellie and Sam and Henry.
Right.
So yeah, they go out that next morning, and so I guess it takes them a while to get halfway through the city because they do come back up, like on the other side, and it's now like kind of nighttime,
like
right?
a crappy residential area, which strangely looked like the Barbarian residential area. Did you notice that?
Detroit?
I wonder if that's where they went to film that. It was probably somewhere in Windsor, but like these old residential houses that have been taken over by fungus and moss. And
the street is just littered with cars.
I know, I love the way it's a residential and the street's littered with cars. Like
on a diagonal pattern.
No one knew how to drive back then. They were just like,
yeah, my car brought me here. My car brought me here. My car brought me here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was something like in Escape from New York. Remember there was a scene like that where they had on the bridge. They had to keep doing it. But that made sense.
But that made sense. That made sense.
Speaking of... Oh, no, that's not that one.
Yeah.
Good.
Big Trouble in Little China. Yep.
Kurt Russell.
So as they're walking, suddenly, pow, pow, sniper shooting at them.
Yeah.
So they get behind a car. And apparently the sniper is really bad. Because he doesn't even really kind of come close to them.
He's just kind of like trying to hold them off.
He even allows them to like look, around the car and determine where they were at. And then Joel says, look, I'm going to go around to the back, right?
Right. Well, you find out that he was deliberately doing that because Kathleen wanted to keep them alive. So she could do the kill shot.
Yeah.
She was hell-bent on revenge.
So Joel goes around, makes his way back up, ends up killing the sniper. But while he's up there...
Who thinks he can beat him with a rifle versus a pistol. But while he's up there, yes.
While he's up there...
He sees a bright light.
He sees the bright lights, and he's yelling out, run! Run! Run, Forrest, run! And it's a little too late for them, to... kind of heat his
The three kids are all out there running, through all the cars while the lead truck has got like a giant
boom! And of course
snowplow on it.
Of course it like nails a truck over into...
No. It was that he finally kills the driver.
Remember, that's right.
He keeps shooting and then the driver like careens into the car and blows up. And of course it blows up.
Of course it blows up. Lights up the set for them,
right?
So they have some lighting.
But the kids are all trapped behind a car, and all the rest of the Jeeps and other Humvee vehicles of basically the villains come up and
now let me ask you this.
Them.
How many people in what was it? Kathleen, is that her name?
Yeah.
How many people in her group do you think were there?
I'm gonna
say 30, 40.
I was gonna say there was somewhere around 12 cars and 4 each. So yeah, somewhere around the 30. I think it was higher. Because they showed a crap load of them standing out there.
So there's at least 30.
Yeah.
And most of them have ARs. And as you can see, they've converted them into automatic weapons.
I wouldn't have noticed that. Is that? Do you know when you watch those, you look at what is specifically, and you're like, wait, that gun could not have done that previously.
Yeah, because they're pulling the trigger and it's going. Bah, 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 bah. So that's an automatic, which is illegal. I have an AR. It's a semi-automatic, so you get one bullet per pull, like boom, 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 boom. Right?
Oh, I thought semi meant that it was like you get like 3 per pull. No? Why is it called semi then? Oh, because
fully automatic is you just press the trigger one time and the bullets flow. Now, in the Army, they actually, their guns have like levers, which allow them to flip between semi-automatic to fully automatic, but they also have what they call a 3-round burst.
Oh, that's
where it's like bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they find out that you know, it's that the Army found out a long time ago that their soldiers are more accurate, you know, when it's not a fully automatic gun. Yeah. You know, so if you can just semi-automatic or 3-round burst, much better.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're like, I'm just going to unload everything, you're like, like this versus boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Or boom, boom, boom.
Right.
So.
But you can convert a semi-automatic into an automatic.
Okay. And so you know, when you saw that scene where they all like ran out there, you're like, okay, these are all these kind of guns.
Well, I didn't know it until they started firing.
Oh.
And then I realized that.
And that leads into?
Yeah. Well, that leads into...
the truck.
Well, Kathleen, first of all, comes out. She wants revenge.
She wants revenge.
Right. So he kind of gives himself up and he comes up. And I always love how it's at this seminal moment where she's about to execute him that suddenly something happens to interrupt it.
Right.
That's like scripted, you know, beautifully.
But you didn't see it coming, though. The car was there, but did you see it like it was going to fall?
Well, no,
and
but
as soon as
it's like rumbling, then you know what's going to happen. As soon as it starts rumbling.
Well, I mean, I saw the car coming down. And I thought, oh, this is a great time for them to escape because everyone's turned around. I didn't think this was going to turn into all the zombies come out.
I did.
Did you see that? Oh, I didn't think that.
As soon as that car starts going down, I'm like, oh.
Did you see how far
here comes all the zombies.
Did you see how far? It was like...
It's a big sinkhole, man. Big sinkhole that it goes down into. And then suddenly you hear... sound, and then they start coming up. It's almost like World War Z, like when...
Yes.
Because, I mean, even though, like...
They're running.
The thing in, like, Walking Dead, even though they were zombies, they couldn't move extra human-like, right? You couldn't do anything extraordinary.
Like jump 20
up,
feet.
Yeah, you, like, watch World War Z. They're running like madmen, and they're, like, climbing on top of each other to build a wall and go over the wall.
Yeah, these guys are definitely in that side of the zombie apocalypse.
So these guys are jumping up out of the hole like they're crickets or something and just come running at them. Now, as soon as everybody starts shooting, that's when I realized it was like, that's when I realized they're shooting automatic weapons. And then I wondered, they got about 30 to 40 guys out there. Will they be able to handle this? Depends on how many come out. But
I kind of thought that scene was slightly manipulated to me.
You think?
In the sense that I think they could have handled them all because these guys are all new. Headshot, headshot, headshot. They were like, you know, the usual. We complained about this in a previous episode. What? You know, like Joel's like shooting at the body. Right. Like, come on, you don't know? It's like bam, 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 bam.
Right. Well, and another thing too.
They had a little bit of time there to get ready. I mean, they knew it was coming.
Another thing too, I'm going to guess, if they've... What was the big guy called? A rhino or something?
Well, I'm calling him Rhino.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
The first component. Soon I will get the other two, and then I will control the world.
I think he's called something else.
He's called you mean in the classic?
In the game.
He's not a clicker. He's
not a clicker.
He's not a Bandersnatch. Look that one up.
So Big Zombie.
I can't remember his name, but he's
called a bloater.
That's right, a bloater.
So he's a bloater. So they've got to know, if they've ever faced a bloater, that their bullets seem pretty ineffective, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so don't you think they would be carrying around some grenades or something?
I agree. I think that whole scene was slightly like...
Because as soon as they start coming up, I would have thought like, oh, grenades in the hole. Grenades in the hole, just to blow that up, right?
But of course, maybe they didn't have any. I don't know. And actually, so I was thinking about this earlier. bullets are in short supply here.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably, they brought everything they got.
So they might only have, like, one magazine.
Ironically, to go after 3 kids and a guy.
Yeah. They might only have one magazine, and that's it now.
Yeah.
Perry had a few magazines on him, because he was reloading.
Perry, you were a disappointment. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You should have known better. You should have told Kathleen, get your head out of your ass, and we need to be a little bit more protected here, not come in, fully exposed and just blowing cars all over the place.
But you know what? To me, it seems like it's been years since they've had a fight, these zombies. Because...
Oh, you think... Oh, well,
or at least it's been a while. You know what I mean? But I would have had guys, like, in their cars, and Perry says, run them over! But, like, only one car reacted to that. Because by then, the clickers are jumping all over the place and, like, jumping on guys, from the car. I would have been in a car, turning around, and evacuating.
Right.
Fall to the, the stronghold, and let's,
But Kathleen was so hell-bent on vengeance that in the, after she finally caught up to the 3 kids, and said, I'm going to shoot you, a young clicker goes in and takes her out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's get the hell out of here! And then they leave, and all the chaos is left.
Yeah, they all kind of, if you watch the scene, the clickers all go back around the bloater to, like, reorg. And then, they're just chasing the stragglers away.
I guess that's what they were doing, because they all, took off in the opposite direction. And so, I guess they crossed the bridge. They showed the bridge. They find out they stay at a hotel.
Yeah. They found a nice little hotel.
And that's another big thing is the lights on. I'm like, really? You're not going to, kind of be hiding? But that's a big Walking Dead thing.
That'd be a Walking Dead thing. Once again, I don't know if light really... it's more like movement.
No, they're blind.
I know, so I don't think light really activates these guys.
Right.
In this world, it's more like movement. It's like the clicker, you know what I mean? Where the bat is sensing the movement.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're in the hotel and...
motel, we should say.
Yeah.
Low end.
Yeah, low-end motel. They're at the Colony 8 or the Super 8 or whatever they were. TV on... wheels that you can move around.
Right, and the put a quarter in the bed to get it to vibrate. Those were awesome, though.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, you know what? This was 2003, so...
Oh, and we forgot. They didn't bring the most important thing for the Rhino. Tough acting Tenactin! They could have taken him down. But instead, they brought ARs.
This tough acting Tenactin is meant to kill fungus. So... would this not work on that fungus?
I think you just should have shot a couple of bombs of those in there, and that would have been the end of it.
Yeah. At least they could have relieved some burning itching right here.
But this is what I would have powered my AR with.
Yeah.
A couple of boom, boom,
yeah.
boom.
Can you imagine you get a bunch of those things and just boom?
Just, carpet bomb them or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Man, tough acting Tenactin.
How about some DDT, man? Wouldn't DDT work on that? Oh, no, that's for
couple of monostat bombs.
No, that DDT is for, mosquitoes, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what am I thinking? What's the stuff they used in Vietnam?
Oh, Agent Orange?
Agent Orange, baby!
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just go in and just... whoosh?
I bet that's going to show up later.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Carpet bomb the fungus.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Anti-itch. So we're in the motel, by the way.
Yeah.
And speaking about anti-itch...
Yeah.
The kids are having a good time, and what does little Samuel say to Elsa? I forget her name. Tess?
Ellie.
Yeah.
So,
he tells her, "Can you still be when the monster arrives? Can you still be you or something like that?" And then he shows.
First of all, she said her fear because they were trading fears.
Yes,
her fear is being left alone.
Oh yeah, right.
And then he said,
he didn't give her a straight answer. He just said,
"When the monsters take over, is the person still inside?"
Yes, something like that. And then you find out. He's been bitten.
He's been bitten.
In that whole melee, he got caught under the car. They were trying to get him out of the car, and he got bit.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about this. Samuel, that was a big thing, by the way, that's not in the game. Samuel's deaf.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there was a lot of because I don't know if you read about that, but in the game he's not deaf. Okay, so that was something we skipped over. But
I saw that on Heavy Spoilers.
Yeah, they did a great job integrating that in, and I thought it was a nice touch. I mean, it kind of really like lend itself between Sam and Henry. That, you know, Henry felt extra responsible in the sense that he had to carry this guy through a lot of things because he couldn't hear anything.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, that also led Henry to have a little bit more, you know, in the end. And this goes back into the scene. So what happens with Sam and Elsa?
Well, you mean Ellie.
Ellie! Damn it!
You said Elsa,
I know.
Bella, Tess.
Tess was his girlfriend.
All right. So, so, you know, she actually takes out a knife, cuts her hand to where she's bleeding, and then she's like literally trying to put her blood into his bloodstream.
Right.
Like a little transfusion. See if he can get a little bit of that,
that
Ellie gusto. You know, going.
Healing energy. Yes.
So she's hopeful, but she doesn't tell anybody.
I know. That always bothers me when they're like, what? Why would you go like... And then he just is like, did he really go to sleep? No, he sat up all night. You know, I'm like, come on. Although it was a surprise, though, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you see it coming when she walks around? And then
yes, I did see it coming. I did. Yeah, I did see it coming. As soon as she sees him sitting there, and she's like, Sam? I was like, oh boy, this isn't going to be good. So yeah, he's like, right? And she goes flying through the doorway from room to room. Right,
as he's
and that's when you were talking about, like, Joel wanted to kill him immediately. And Sam was like, no!
No, Henry.
Or Henry, yeah, excuse me. He's like, no! You do not do that. And Joel, but like, he's infected. He's going to, kill him. And Ellie's screaming like crazy, holding him off.
Right.
And finally, Henry shoots him and kills him.
Reels a headshot.
Right. And then when he realizes what he's done, he doesn't feel like he has much to live for because that was his purpose in life. And he just killed his purpose in life, and so he turns the gun on himself, and boom.
Yeah. Which to me...
which I said immediately, I guess there's just no other characters that will survive in this other than Joel and Ellie, because, man, every time they build up a story of some characters, like Tess, dead. Bill and Frank, dead. Kathleen and Perry, dead. Sam and Henry, dead. So it's like, wow.
Right. And this is, I agree with you on that point. This is where I think they're bringing in the game into this, because in normal life, I don't think he'd shoot himself. I think this is completely...
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that was kind of a manipulation of the storyline. I'm like, well, in the game he dies, he kills himself, so let's just do it,
Yeah, but I think I can see where somebody would be so distraught and in shock they would just kill themselves.
Yeah.
So... especially in that kind of world. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. But, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if he still had a wife or family to go to and he lost somebody he loved, but he had other people that he loved that were around, yeah, maybe he wouldn't do it. But if he's got nothing and just everything just went away right then,
Well,
and this world seems to grind everybody else up, it's just a matter of time when he's going to die. Why not here?
And actually, to your point, Joel never told him that Ellie has basically healing abilities.
Yeah.
And I think if he had told him that, it would have made it worse. But since he didn't tell him that, I agree with you then. He's like, well, there's nothing else here for me. Bam. Yeah. So, and then they end up burying... This part I thought was a little weird. Where they went out of their way to bury these guys.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, what's the point in that one? I mean, I know it's symbolic, respect, but...
Yeah. I mean... Yeah.
I guess they showed him the way. I kind of felt like, though, that was a waste of energy. Like, come on, you guys. But I guess you don't want to let the...
So I wonder if all the survivors in Kansas City, like, they had no idea this horde is coming their way now. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess
we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that.
But they came up through and then came out. I don't know if the horde would go into the city like that.
If they're chasing stragglers who are probably trying to get back to their base, they're going that way.
But I don't think you could run. It seems to me you can't run as fast as these zombies. Like, you're
You
dead
can for a little
well.
bit of time, I think.
Right.
The thing is, I don't think they tire and you would tire.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? So you could stay ahead of them for half a mile.
Potentially. Unless it's like a marathon or something, doing 4.5 splits.
But, I mean, they're going to catch Usain Bolt at some point.
And this is where I thought that was a very obvious reference. And I mean, they probably didn't. I'm just saying a reference because it happened earlier to Black Summer. I mean, the zombies in that are like full on running,
I don't think
chasing
they're
people
referencing
down.
anything. They wrote their story and they created their zombies the way they created them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Black Summer is not the first running zombie.
Well,
show.
that'd be interesting. Was Last of Us out before Black Summer? Because we had this.
The game, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet it
It'd be
was.
an interesting little take on things. 'Cause
Yeah.
we always talk about how zombies shows, movies are influencing other zombie shows, movies, and we had this conversation before with
28 Days Later.
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
and we found out that 28 Days Later was first.
Right. Yep.
So,
Because we thought Walking Dead, the comic, was first.
Yes.
But it wasn't that case. So
that's the end of
obviously,
the episode.
That's the end of the episode. What'd you think of this episode?
Great episode!
Yeah. I think I texted...
Absolutely top notch.
I think I texted you at midnight on Friday night and said, now that's an episode. Right?
I didn't watch it, though, until Sunday.
I know. Were you in bed at that time or what?
No, I was ironically still awake, but...
When did you see my text? The next morning?
No, I saw it when you sent it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
It was 12:30, and I'm like, I haven't even watched it, so I didn't want to encourage you to give me any other.
I didn't want to influence you with like telling you anything. All I said, I go, now that's an episode.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was a great episode.
Yeah.
I mean, zombies, intrigue, closing off some storylines with Kathleen and answering the whole thing about what was the background with that. I mean, so it was well written overall, and you couldn't beat that whole zombie attack scene in itself. I mean, unfortunately, I thought it was too fast. I mean, I went back and watched it again. I'm like, oh my god!
I watched it again too.
I gotta watch this multiple times because it was so quick.
Right.
How this new zombie mushroom, what's the word I'm looking for? Not genre, but I mean how fast they like overwhelmed all these guys with like superior firepower. And this is a big difference. In Walking Dead, they would have been able to take all of them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
at least get away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they run like this, to me that is the most fearful zombie type genre.
Right.
Running zombies, because it changes the game. And because of me, I like to be empathetic, meaning I like to put myself in the situation of those people. Those things start coming out. Like, I'm wondering how long I stay. And before I realize we're going to get overwhelmed, let's get in the car and get the heck out of Dodge and fight another day. I don't care about what Kathleen and Perry have to say. Right. You know what I mean? They're going to be dead if they stay here. So, and if they make it out, it's because they hightailed it. So
yeah.
So
and this is of course the plot point here.
By the way, I just said Kathleen Perry, and I thought of Katy Perry. I don't know why I said that.
It is close, isn't it? That's funny.
Yeah.
But this is one of those hubris type scenarios where if Kathleen had just laid it off and just said, okay, but she was hell-bent at revenge and then ends up destroying all those people because of her revenge.
Right. That's when all the other strong leaders need to mutiny. When they see that their leader is not on target for staying alive and protecting everybody.
So it's on you, Perry.
Yeah.
Should have taken her into the corner and said, hold off.
Yeah.
You're bringing us all down.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous.
And what's she going to do? Pull the gun on you? You pull the gun on her.
Right.
You know, you go downstairs, you put one in her head, and then you tell everybody.
Oops, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. you say, hey, there's something in that
Or
hole
just
over
lock
there.
her in that room.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. She came down here and then she went off to discover something on her own.
Listen, I'm all about...
A mushroom got her.
I'm all about trying to keep everybody alive, but if there's some person who's being an idiot and endangering everybody, that person needs to go.
Yeah. No, so, I fully agree. I mean, you know, it's survival at its best in this particular apocalypse, and if you're going to be an idiot for your own emotional satisfaction, then yeah, everyone's gonna go.
So, just real quick, happy with the episode?
Yeah, it was a great episode.
I like the episode too. So I want to hear what the Cult Lords fans think. Did you like this episode? Was it a nice reprieve of violence after 2 quiet episodes? A reprieve of violence, right? When do you say that? You know, but were you happy to see zombies finally in a zombie show, and like a lot of zombies and some unique zombies? What makes a bloater compared to a clicker? I don't know. Maybe they'll teach us this.
There's 4 stages, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Is a bloater the highest? We don't know, right?
I don't know. So I can't wait to see a little bit more. Did you watch the preview for next week?
I did.
In Wyoming, where they're
he runs into his brother, and then, of course his brother's like, I don't understand. You killed all these people.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Can you see what time we're in? Well, we'll deal with next episode.
Yes.
But for the Cult Lords fans, go down, hit subscribe, hit like, tell us in the comments, what did you think about this episode? Were you happy with it? Did you catch anything that maybe we might have missed from either the episode or the game? Let us know. And I guess we will see you next week for episode 6. Yes. And I'm already looking forward to it. I mean, this is a really good show.
Although it's kind of boding like there's going to be no zombies, because stuff's like cold and frozen and everything like that. So
Dane, I think we need to just get used to this. This is
no
not
zombies.
about this.
They're
This is a zombie show, not about the zombies.
Yes.
Okay. So, but
I want my rhino back.
How do you want to see us?
Came out.
Oh,